Bernie Sanders won yesterday's West Virginia Democratic primary. He won 51 to 36 over Hillary Clinton. A strong win, no doubt about it. He will have a very good May. Bernie Sanders is looking pretty good in Kentucky. He's looking even better in Oregon, which Kentucky and Oregon are the two remaining Democratic primaries in May. And the question is, could it all matter? There have been these memes circulating online about Wolf Blitzer jokingly saying, not actually, but the meme suggests Wolf Blitzer saying, how will Bernie Sanders recover from this overwhelming win in West Virginia? Sort of poking fun at the narrative from the media where when Bernie loses, or at least earlier in the primary period, when Bernie would lose, media would say, well, Hillary Clinton is clearly the presumptive frontrunner. And when Bernie would win, they would say this is really still not enough for Bernie Sanders to really have a shot here. There's no doubt that Bernie Sanders will win May in terms of momentum. And the question is, mathematically, what is the situation going to be? Let's start with West Virginia yesterday. 51 to 36 win for Bernie Sanders. He did close the gap in terms of delegates with Hillary Clinton by 5, shrinking the lead to 286. So this is really the way we should be thinking about it, right? 51 to 36, no doubt that's a solid win. But in terms of the delegate lead, what does it do for Bernie Sanders? And what it did is close the gap by 5. Now, Kentucky and Oregon offer 135 delegates total. So if Bernie Sanders won 100% of the delegates available in Kentucky and Oregon, which he won't, obviously. He's not going to get 100% of the vote. That would close the gap to being 151 pledged delegates behind Hillary Clinton, super delegates aside for the time being. You can make a pretty good case that if on June 7th, the day when California and Montana and New Jersey and I'm forgetting here, New Mexico, both of the Dakotas, North and South Dakota vote. If on June 7th, the lead for Hillary Clinton is only 151 delegates, there's a case to be made that Bernie Sanders has a mathematical path to the nomination. And indeed, he does have one. But he is not going to get 100% of the delegates in Kentucky and Oregon. So as someone who voted for Bernie Sanders here in Massachusetts, I am thinking about this in terms of what is the likely scenario, and then what would be a sort of stretch scenario, a better scenario for Bernie, but still reasonable, because the pie in the sky, what if Bernie gets 100 or even 90 or even 85% of the remaining delegates? Not going to happen. I had a conversation with a friend over the weekend. He was saying to me that he was so angry that independent media isn't portraying Bernie as still being right in this thing. And I told him, he's not right in this thing. He's in it. If he pulled off what at this point would be a miracle, he could catch up. And my friend said, well, exactly. He's in it, and he could at least be the spoiler who prevents Hillary Clinton from getting the nomination before the Democratic National Convention. And this is where I think there is some confusion right now. And we're getting emails with confusion about this, so I want to explain it. The term contested convention is being thrown around a lot. Contested convention can mean different things to different people. If Hillary Clinton doesn't clinch the Democratic nomination before the convention, this is sort of colloquially a contested convention in that we arrive at the first ballot at the DNC with no clinched candidate. However, you can have that first ballot without someone having clinched prior to it, and there is a clear winner after that first ballot. Now, there are many people, most people, I'm just the messenger here, who believe even if Hillary Clinton doesn't clinch before the convention, that first ballot will see Hillary Clinton clinch. Therefore, it wouldn't really be a formally contested convention. When we talk about a truly contested convention, that would mean including the first round of voting at the DNC, including the first round of superdelegates actually voting, which they have not done yet, you still don't have someone at 2,383 delegates total. That is not as likely of a scenario if things continue just proportionally to what has been going on now. So email me angrily if you want. Say I'm the problem if you want. But this is the reality. Contested in the sense of Hillary doesn't clinch before the nomination, increasingly likely. Every win Bernie Sanders gets makes that more likely. contested in that even after the first ballot, there is no winner, that is less likely. Now, I still defend Bernie Sanders staying in this thing because it's clear that there is value to him staying in. Number one, Bernie Sanders' candidacy has value beyond the primary because of the ideas that he's injecting into the debate. And number two, there's no evidence whatsoever that a longer Democratic primary jeopardizes the chances of the eventual Democratic nominee in November. Some people are saying, well, David, the Republican candidate, presumably Trump, who won two primaries yesterday, by the way, Nebraska and West Virginia, Trump will be, he'll have a longer runway to critique the eventual Democratic nominee. He can just start bashing Hillary and Bernie, or just Hillary, as he seems to be doing. And then Hillary won't have as much of a chance if she's the eventual nominee. Most voters don't start paying attention until late summer, early summer at the earliest for the most part. So that I don't buy that at all. I don't think there's any risk to Bernie Sanders staying in.